Have you ever wondered why some people make it to 100 years old while others start struggling in their 70s? I've spent over 3 decades in medicine, and I can tell you it's not just luck and it's not just genes. The people who live the longest, the ones who are still sharp, still laughing, still walking through their neighborhoods at 95, they share one quiet thing in common. Their bodies have managed to avoid the diseases that silently shorten most lives after 60. Today, I want to share with you the 5 conditions that rob millions of Americans of their final decades and why, if you've made it this far without them, your body may already be telling you something extraordinary. Stay with me through the end because understanding these 5 diseases could completely change the way you see your own aging and give you the clearest picture yet of what your body is truly capable of. Let's start with the one I've seen end more lives than almost anything else in my career: heart disease. If you've reached your 60s or 70s without heart disease, you've already cleared the highest hurdle standing between you and a century of life. Heart disease is still the #1 killer of older Americans, and the reason goes deeper than most people realize. Your heart isn't just a pump, it's a clock. It keeps time for every single system in your body. When it weakens, everything else follows. Most people picture heart disease as something sudden, a heart attack that comes out of nowhere. But the truth is, it builds quietly for decades. Small deposits of plaque form inside the arteries, slowly narrowing the path blood needs to travel. Blood pressure creeps upward, putting pressure on vessel walls, and over time, the heart has to work harder and harder just to do what it once did effortlessly. That slow, silent erosion is what steals years from people who never even knew it was happening. But if you've reached your 70s with a healthy heart, it means something important. Your blood vessels are still flexible, your circulation is still efficient, your body has handled stress and inflammation in a way that most people simply haven't managed. I had a patient, I'll call him Walter, who came to see me at 81 for a routine checkup. He'd never had a heart attack, never had a stent, never even been on blood pressure medication. When I looked at his arteries, they looked decades younger than his age. I asked him what his secret was. He thought about it and said, "Doc, I just never gave my heart a reason to quit on me." He walked every morning, ate simply, kept his temper calm, and laughed often. That was his entire prescription. You don't have to be perfect to protect your heart. You have to be consistent. Movement, even gentle movement, like walking, gardening, or stretching, keeps blood flowing and arteries elastic. Whole foods rich in fiber and natural fats protect against plaque buildup and emotional stability. The ability to let go of stress rather than carry it reduces cortisol, the hormone that damages your cardiovascular system faster than almost any food you could eat. If you've avoided heart disease this far, celebrate it, but don't stop watching. Many people in their 70s develop silent hypertension or irregular rhythms without any noticeable symptoms. Keep monitoring your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and your resting heart rate. Those small checks are the insurance policy on everything you've built. Your heart doesn't just determine how long you live, it determines how fully you live. When it's strong, your energy stays up, your memory stays sharp, and your mood stays even. Avoiding heart disease isn't just good fortune, it's proof that your body is still keeping pace with life itself. Now let me talk about something that I believe is the most underestimated threat to longevity in America today: diabetes. If you've made it to this stage of life without diabetes, your body has preserved one of its most precious defenses: metabolic balance. Diabetes doesn't just raise blood sugar, it quietly damages blood vessels, nerves, kidneys, eyes, and even the brain. It accelerates aging in every organ simultaneously. And what I've noticed over decades of practice is that the patients who reach their 80s and 90s free of it share a particular quality. Their bodies still know how to listen to themselves. Diabetes doesn't begin the day of diagnosis, it begins years, sometimes decades, earlier when cells gradually stop responding correctly to insulin, the hormone that lets sugar enter cells and become energy. Over time, sugar accumulates in the bloodstream, thickening it, slowing circulation, and weakening nearly every system it touches. It's not an instant disease, it's a slow takeover. I remember a man named Harold, 84 years old, no medication, clear blood work across the board. He'd never counted a calorie in his life, but he lived by one simple rule: eat until you're satisfied, not until you're full. He avoided sugary drinks, kept his portions modest, stayed active with yard work and long evening walks. When I asked him his secret, he said, "Dr. Brooks, I just never fed my body things that made it fight against itself." That one sentence is as good a summary of metabolic health as anything I've read in a medical journal. Avoiding diabetes also protects every other organ from accelerated aging. High blood sugar stiffens arteries, strains the kidneys, and significantly raises the risk of dementia. That's why people who remain diabetes-free tend to maintain clearer thinking, stronger hearts, and better vision well into their later years. Their vascular systems stay flexible, their energy stays consistent, and their body's repair mechanisms continue working efficiently. But prevention doesn't end at 60. Even if you've avoided it this far, your lifestyle choices still matter deeply. Balanced meals with whole grains, lean proteins, and plenty of vegetables keep insulin levels stable. Staying hydrated, maintaining a healthy weight, and getting enough quality sleep work together to keep your body's sugar regulation intact. Diabetes is one of the great thieves of longevity. The fact that you don't have it means your body is still working with you, not against you, and that partnership is worth protecting every single day. If you're still watching and you're finding this valuable, drop the number 2 in the comments right now so I know you're here with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the bell so you never miss a new video. Your support is what makes it possible for me to keep bringing this kind of content to you. Now let's keep going. The third condition I want to talk about is one that changes lives in an instant: stroke and circulatory disease. If you've lived this long without experiencing a stroke, a mini stroke, or a serious circulatory event, your body has passed one of the most dangerous thresholds of aging. Strokes don't just end lives, they transform them. In a single moment, a person can lose their speech, their mobility, or their memory. The fact that you haven't faced one yet tells me something powerful about the health of your vascular system. Your blood vessels, your blood pressure, and your cerebral circulation are still functioning the way nature intended, even after decades of use. A stroke occurs when blood flow to part of the brain is suddenly cut off, sometimes by a clot blocking a vessel, sometimes by a weakened artery that ruptures and floods brain tissue with blood. Either way, the danger isn't just the event itself, it's the damage left behind. But if you've avoided these episodes, it speaks volumes about your internal resilience. I once had a patient named Ruth, 86 years old, who walked half a mile every morning without fail and spent 15 minutes every night in what she called her quiet time before bed. Deep, slow breathing, no screens, no noise. Her doctor before me had told her, "Ruth, your arteries are softer than most people 30 years younger than you." When I asked her how she'd done it, she said, "I never let anger spend the night." And that's not just wisdom, that's physiology. Chronic stress constricts arteries and accelerates plaque buildup, while calm and emotional regulation promote vascular repair and circulation. The science backs her up completely. Avoiding stroke also means you've likely managed blood pressure well. Hypertension is called the silent killer for a reason. It rarely causes pain until serious damage is already done. By keeping it stable, whether through lifestyle, medication, or both, you've protected not just your brain, but your kidneys, your eyes, and your heart. Your blood vessels can still expand and contract efficiently, delivering oxygen where it's needed most. There's also a fascinating connection between circulation and the quality of aging. People who maintain strong blood flow tend to age more gracefully because their organs, muscles, and even skin receive consistent oxygen. Their hands stay warm, their thinking stays sharp, their hearts recover faster after exertion. Avoiding circulatory disease isn't just fortune, it's one of the clearest signs that your internal infrastructure is still clean and strong. And if your vessels have stayed healthy this long, your path toward 100 is wider open than you may realize. Now I want to talk about something that I know many of you think about, perhaps even fear: cancer. If you've reached this stage of life without a cancer diagnosis, it is one of the strongest indicators that your body has mastered one of nature's hardest challenges: cellular stability. Cancer isn't just a disease, it's a breakdown in the body's ability to control how cells grow, divide, and repair themselves. The fact that your body has maintained that control well into your later years means your immune system, your DNA repair mechanisms, and your metabolic balance are still working in harmony. Every single day, even in perfectly healthy people, small clusters of abnormal cells appear in the body. Most are destroyed before they ever become dangerous. That's your immune system doing its job silently, detecting, attacking, and clearing potential threats before you ever feel a thing. As we age, that surveillance naturally slows. But if you've reached your 70s or 80s without a major cancer diagnosis, it means your defenses are still awake, still sharp, still responsive. I think of a woman named Margaret who lived to 101. When people asked her secret, she always said the same thing: "I never let bitterness take root in my body." She wasn't being poetic, she meant it literally. We now know that chronic stress, unresolved anger, and prolonged inflammation can suppress immune function, creating the exact environment where abnormal cells are allowed to grow unchecked. Margaret's calm nature, combined with a diet of vegetables, herbal teas, and daily sunshine, helped keep her immune system vigilant long after her peers had started to fade. Avoiding cancer also has a great deal to do with choices, what you chose not to do. Not smoking, drinking only in moderation, if at all, not ignoring regular screenings. The long-lived cancer-free patients I've known over my career share one common trait: they pay attention, they noticed small changes early. They kept their preventive appointments even when they felt perfectly fine, because cancer that's caught early is almost always a different story than cancer that's found late. If you've avoided cancer this long, it isn't just luck, it's a reflection of your lifestyle, your mindset, and your biology working in your favor. Your cells are still following their natural rhythm, dividing, repairing, and resting as they should. That harmony is what gives your body the potential to carry you well into the next century. Protect it, nourish it with good food, stable rest, meaningful connection, and genuine joy, because those aren't small things. In my experience, those are the most powerful medicine there is. Drop the number 4 in the comments if you're still with me. I love knowing who's watching. And share this video with someone you care about, because this information could genuinely matter to them. And now, the fifth and final condition, one that I believe is the most overlooked of all. Chronic lung disease. If your lungs are still clear, your breathing still easy, and you've never faced a diagnosis of COPD, emphysema, or chronic bronchitis, that alone puts you far ahead on the road to a long life. Your lungs are the gateway to your body's vitality. Every single cell in your body depends on them for oxygen, and when they remain strong past 70, it means your entire internal network is still thriving. Most Americans underestimate how fragile the lungs become with age. We think of breathing as automatic, something the body just does. But the lungs are muscle and tissue, and like all tissue, they stiffen over time. Decades of pollution, infection, or smoking can scar them, making it harder for oxygen to reach the bloodstream. But if you've arrived at your later years without chronic breathlessness, without persistent coughing fits, without recurring respiratory infections, your lungs still have the elasticity and resilience of a much younger person. A man I admired greatly, I'll call him Leonard because he reminded me of someone I once knew, lived to 102, no fancy health gadgets, no complicated supplement regimen, but every morning, without exception, he took a long walk outdoors. Even in winter, he'd say, "Dr. Brooks, lungs are like children. They behave well when you keep them busy." And the science agrees completely. Deep, consistent breathing, combined with physical movement, keeps the lungs open, flushes stale air from the lower lobes, and maintains strong circulation throughout the chest. At 90, Leonard's lung function tested like that of a man in his early 60s, purely because he refused to let them go idle. Protecting strong lungs also protects every other organ. When the lungs deliver oxygen efficiently, the heart doesn't have to overwork. The brain stays alert. The immune system functions more effectively. Older adults with strong lungs heal faster, sleep more deeply, and think more clearly. It's no coincidence that the world's longest-lived populations tend to live in places with clean air and active outdoor lifestyles. But even if your environment isn't perfect, your habits can compensate for a great deal. Stand tall, expand your chest. Even a few deep, intentional breaths throughout the day increases lung capacity and keeps the muscles around your rib cage flexible. Pay attention to your home environment. Avoid heavy chemical cleaners, secondhand smoke, and excessive dust. Ventilate your rooms. If air quality is a concern, consider indoor plants, which filter toxins naturally. Stay hydrated, because water thins the mucus that naturally accumulates with age, making it easier for your lungs to clear themselves. And eat for your lungs. Berries, leafy greens, citrus, and green tea are rich in antioxidants that protect delicate lung tissue from oxidative stress. What I find most remarkable about strong lungs is what they reflect. They're not an isolated organ. They're a mirror of your habits, your environment, your relationship with your own body. If your breathing is deep and effortless, it means your body still has rhythm, still has balance. Avoiding chronic lung disease doesn't just extend your life, it preserves your independence. You can walk, you can laugh without gasping, you can climb stairs, travel, play with your grandchildren without stopping to catch your breath. Every clear breath after 70 is a quiet victory, and every one you take is your body telling you, you're still in this. So, let me bring this together for you now. If you've arrived at this stage of life without heart disease, without diabetes, without stroke, without cancer, and without chronic lung disease, your body is already telling you something that most people never get to hear. You've built the foundation for a century of life. These aren't random strokes of luck, they are signs. Signs of balance, of daily choices made with care, of an internal system that has stood up to the test of time. When your organs still communicate the way they're supposed to, when your circulation flows freely, when your immune system still fights effectively, when your body remains adaptable, that is not an accident. That is the quiet reward of years of living wisely. Every habit you've built, what you eat, how you rest, how you manage stress, how you forgive, how you move, has been shaping your resilience in ways you may never have seen. But your body has kept score, and right now, it's winning. I want to leave you with this. The people I've known who've lived past 100 didn't chase youth. They respected rhythm, they ate simply, they moved daily, they kept their curiosity alive, they stayed connected to other people, they adapted instead of resisted, and above all, they never stopped believing that life still had something left to offer them. So, if you're watching this today, free of these 5 diseases, take a moment to recognize how rare and remarkable that truly is. You've already won half the battle. Now, your job is to protect what you've built. Keep your body active. Keep your mind curious. Keep your heart at peace, because longevity isn't a number, it's a relationship with life itself, a daily commitment to gratitude, to moderation, to movement, and to meaning. Keep that relationship strong, and reaching 100 won't just be possible, it will feel like the most natural thing in the world. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing from today that you're going to carry forward. Your words matter to me more than you know. And if this video helped you, please like it, share it with someone you love, and subscribe so we can keep this conversation going. I'll see you in the next one. Support my channel. Thanks.